Dominick from Genuine Assholes here. Today we're going to be doing a rewatch review, which will basically be, a video where I review a movie or I talk about a movie that I maybe once had a different opinion for, or in this case, a movie that I've always felt a certain way about that I thought I'd share with others. That movie today is Rocky V. Now, before we talk about Rocky V, let's talk about the Rocky franchise back in the day when Rocky V came out. You had Rocky II, where Rocky won a title. You had Rocky III, where he lost to Mr. T, and then won to Mr. T after being trained by Apollo Creed. And of course, you had the superhero film, Rocky IV, where Sylvester Stallone beats Ivan Drago and brings two countries together in harmony. Now, Rocky V gets bashed a lot. It's the black sheep of the series. It's, first off, what I'm going to stick up for it in this video. As far as storytelling, the movie's a sloppy mess. I'm not going to argue with that. This is supposed to take place basically immediately following Rocky IV, and his son jumped about 4 years in age because Sylvester Stallone's real-life son plays him. So Stallone kind of forced that. As the movie progresses, this movie takes place over the course of a year. You really don't explain it. It's very like, you got to kind of do the math in your head, and even then it doesn't really make sense. And of course, the biggest things, I should say, the brain damage and the money. Okay, it's unrealistic, but is it any more unrealistic than what occurs in Rocky IV or in Rocky III? You got to understand, too, this was a time when Sylvester Stallone banged out 4 Rocky movies, and they were all basically following a trend, I mean, how much longer could he have gone on with the same kind of thing, So Rocky V is his attempt to try something different. So you got to respect him for that much. I mean, he figured, hey, Rocky's going to retire and I'm going to train somebody. No, I'm not going to have a big fight at the end. There is a street fight at the end, which I love. There's not a training montage. There's Tommy Gunn's training montages, but this is why a lot of fans don't like it. It disregards the past formula. Tommy Morrison, who recently died, we're not going to get into that right now, but who is a real boxer, plays Tommy Gunn, and I gotta say, he's actually a pretty good actor. And I'm not saying that Rocky V is a better movie than Rocky VI or Rocky Balboa. I always call it Rocky VI. But Tommy Morrison as Tommy Gunn is way better than Antonio Tarver as Mason the Line Dixon. I don't give a shit what anybody says. That guy is so cardboard in that role. And there's a great flashback scene with Mickey in there that I personally really like. There's, the characters are all there. I mean, it's a goofy movie. It's definitely a goofy movie, but for the reputation Rocky V has, it's not justified. It really isn't. I mean, the thing that bothers me the most is that Rocky V is basically ignored. And I mean, Sylvester Stallone has gone on the record of saying he hates it, and fans never talk about it. I recently just watched a compilation video of all the Rockies with Creed as well, and they completely disregarded Rocky V, and that kind of annoyed me. I mean, come on, the movie exists. Take it for what it is. It exists. I mean, now more than ever with Creed, seeing Rocky train Apollo Creed's son, I think it's fun to now go back and see Rocky's failed attempt, his sort of Obi-Wan to Anakin attempt at training, because Tommy Gunn did not work out. And if you're a Rocky fan, if you hated this movie, or maybe a lot of fans never even watched the movie because they heard such bad things about it, give it a chance. It's pure 90s fun, in my opinion. It's got it's a little different. It's a different spin on the series. It's got some over-the-top characters like George Washington Duke, who's essentially a ripoff of Don King. And it's fun. It's a fun movie. It's got little Rocky jokes here and there. It's not a bad movie, and it's a change of pace from the others. I mean, even if you look at Rocky Balboa, I keep bringing up Rocky Balboa because it was that was sort of Stallone's way of trying to finish the series on the right note. Rocky Balboa is basically Rocky 1, just reworked. So, I gotta give a little credit to Rocky V for being something different. Creed takes kind of Rocky V's idea a little bit. Listen, pop it in, make some popcorn, watch the movie, give it a chance because it's not as bad as everyone says. It's definitely got flaws. It's not without its flaws. It's got some awkward moments here and there. It's a fun, watchable movie. And if you're a Rocky fan, go watch it. Don't ignore it because it doesn't exist. The fight at the end, a lot of fun, I think. They knock him down once you try knocking me down, And like I said, Tommy Morrison, hey man, I want you to train me, man. Hey, Rock, man, I want you to teach me. I mean, I think he's good. You got Paulie in there, Burt Young, who's always fun. It's a good movie. Give it a chance. Stop hating on it. You change the pace a little bit. You don't need to see Rocky in the ring in every movie. He is very brain damaged in this movie, though, I might add. He's a little too much, but that's yet again another flaw. Not a perfect movie, but like I said, 90s gold. If you have a VHS copy of this movie, if you're going to obtain a VHS copy of this movie, watch it like that if you still have a VCR, because that's really capturing the 90s, and there's kind of like a hip-hop soundtrack in there where they kind of like remix the original Rocky songs. I don't know, maybe it's the nostalgia, maybe it's because I've been watching it since I was a kid, but I fucking love Rocky 5. Sometimes I like it more than Rocky Balboa, I'm not going to lie, so judge me on that, but like I said, you haven't seen this movie, give it a watch. If you have and you didn't like it for whatever reason, give it another watch. Give it, kind of check your mind at the door and give Rocky 5 a fair look. Give it a long, hard look, okay? And if you like this video, like, subscribe, and check out my other stuff. Thanks, guys.